The bird is freed. That's the tweet Elon Musk made after becoming the owner of Twitter yesterday. Musk's first move was firing top executives, and it seems no one's job in the company is safe. As Musk says, he plans to cut jobs. NTD's Jeremy Sandberg has more on the acquisition.
Before closing the $44 billion acquisition, Elon Musk changed his Twitter profile description to Chief Twit. Musk said Thursday after the deal went through that he did not buy the company to make more money, but to try and help humanity, which he loves.
He wants to build a super app. He wants to add payments. He wants to do more video. He maybe wants to make it like a protocol. He wants to verify users. I mean, he wants to do all these big things. At the same time, he wants to cut 75% of all the people that currently work there.
One of his first actions was to fire CEO Parag Agrawal, CFO Ned Siegel, and the company's general counsel. That's according to people familiar with the matter who spoke on the condition of anonymity due to the sensitive nature of the personnel moves. Musk accused them of misleading him and Twitter investors over the number of fake accounts on the platform. The anonymous sources say Agrawal and Siegel were escorted out of Twitter's San Francisco headquarters when the deal closed. Musk has talked about the importance of free speech, and it's widely assumed he will make fewer limits on content that can be posted. The billionaire entrepreneur says he wants to prevent the platform from becoming an echo chamber for hate and division.
I think there is a chance that one of the first things he'd like to do is bring back everybody that was banned or bring back everybody that was controversial. Certainly that's part of his MO.
That's not to say there will be no moderation moving forward. Musk said in an open letter to advertisers on Thursday that Twitter obviously cannot become a free-for-all hellscape where anything can be said with no consequences. Goals he's outlined include wanting to defeat spam bots on the platform and be transparent about the algorithms that determine how content is presented to users. Twitter shares were up Thursday, ending the day just under the price Musk paid. The stock will be delisted from the New York Stock Exchange Friday. Jeremy Sandberg, NTD News.
A reporter from our sister media, The Epoch Times, checked out what was happening at Twitter's headquarters in San Francisco. So far, there has been no sign of the new boss.
Media personnel wait outside Twitter's headquarters in San Francisco for a chance to catch its new CEO, Elon Musk.
Maybe a new start. Maybe the company can become profitable, and I think that would be good. Maybe more openness, more dialogue. That's what he says he wants to do, Mr. Musk, so we'll see.
Some Twitter employees were laid off as whole departments were done away with, including top executives.
Hopefully they'll land on their feet. They're probably competent people, techies, that type of thing, programmers.
In a tweet, Musk said Twitter will be forming a content moderation council with widely diverse viewpoints, and it will not make any major decisions until the council convenes.
As the midterms approach, polls are checking how Californians may vote on significant state matters. From the current results, it looks like the governor will hold his seat, but several propositions will likely not pass.
According to polling from the Public Policy Institute of California, published on Thursday, Governor Gavin Newsom leads to hold the governor's seat, but several major propositions for the coming midterm may fail by a wide margin. Newsom's lead shrank to a less than 20-point margin, with 55% of the vote going to him and 36% going to Republican challenger Senator Brian Daly. The support is largely partisan, with 91% of Democrats favoring Newsom and 86% Republican favoring Daly. September's numbers show a much wider margin, Newsom 58% and Daly 31%. The polling also expects three major propositions to fail in the state, those being Props 26, 27, and 30. Prop 26 would allow sports betting at Indian casinos. 57% of Californians say they will likely vote no, with 34% in support. Prop 27, which would legalize online sports betting, is facing more opposition. 67% oppose and 26% are in favor. Lastly, support for Prop 30 has been dropping in recent months. The proposition would raise taxes on people making $2 million or more. Currently, 52% oppose and 41% support. That's a large switch since July, when 63% supported it and 35% opposed. The Prop 30 swing may have come about with Newsom and groups like the California Teachers Association opposing it.
The city of Los Angeles is inching closer to recalling a councilman who was caught in a controversial recording that has led to two of his colleagues resigning. That's after he and another councilman were censured earlier this week.
A group of residents filed a notice of intent to recall Los Angeles Councilman Kevin De Leon on October 27th, amid growing calls for him to resign. De Leon is one of two remaining councilmen who are under fire after a recording was released online earlier this month of a derogatory conversation involving three councilors in 2021. This is the fourth grassroots attempt to recall the embattled councilman. His spokesman told the Epoch Times, despite the newest effort, De Leon would keep moving forward important projects and issues that threaten the communities and the lives of his constituents. On Wednesday, the LA City Council voted unanimously to censure Councilman De Leon and Gil Cedillo for their roles in the City Hall scandal. The clerk's office told City News Service this is the first censure since at least 1911.
This council completely separates itself from the actions of those members that took place in that meeting and everything that it stood for. That doesn't reflect our values, it doesn't reflect the values of this city.
The council also called to censure former council president Nuri Martinez, but a representative from the city attorney's office said it was unclear if the council can censure a former member. Neither De Leon nor Cedillo have resigned. They remain after calls were made from almost all their council colleagues, as well as political figures such as President Joe Biden and Governor Gavin Newsom. Both haven't attended a meeting since October 11th when protesters forced them to leave. Cedillo cannot be recalled because there is not enough time before his term expires in December. De Leon's term runs until December 2024. The organizers need to collect signatures from over 21,000 registered voters in the district, 15% in total in 120 days if the petition is certified.
The governor has continued his pursuit of a windfall tax on oil companies. Supporters say oil companies took advantage of consumers by making profits while prices were high. Opponents claim that high gas prices are caused by a series of events. An additional tax would add to inflation.
Governor Gavin Newsom called for a windfall profit tax on oil companies recently, and he targeted Valero on Tuesday. He said oil companies took advantage of consumers while gas hit record high prices this year. A windfall tax is a special tax when a company or industry makes a sudden profit. Nonprofit advocacy group Consumer Watchdog supports the governor's proposal, saying that Californians have been an ATM for oil refiners for too long. Oil companies responded by saying that the profits came from worldwide demand being higher than pre-pandemic levels. David Hackett, a fuel industry expert with Stillwater Associates and member of the California Energy Commission's Petroleum Market Advisory Committee, told the Epoch Times that the additional state tax could add to both inflation and consumer costs. He added that a series of events caused a hike in gas prices in California, including COVID, layoffs, scheduled maintenance, the war in Ukraine, and a heat wave in the state. According to AAA, California gas prices remain the highest in the nation, partially due to state gas taxes and added regulatory taxes. Republican Representative Young Kim, along with other conservatives, have asked Newsom to suspend the state gas tax in response to higher prices. Internationally, the United Kingdom adopted a temporary windfall profit tax on oil companies this summer.
A fine dining experience for dogs has opened in San Francisco. Pampered pups can feast on a tasting menu that includes fancy dishes like steak tartare with quail eggs.
Exquisitely crafted desserts made from the finest ingredients. These wouldn't look out of place in the most exclusive of French patisseries. Except Chef Rami Mazerve isn't making cakes for human consumption. These will end up in the bellies of San Francisco's most pampered pooches. Mazerve, a classically trained chef, says a huge amount of care goes into the food.
When we make our food, it is a process. It is very time consuming. There's a lot of technique, there's a lot of method and detail to what we do. Our pastries, for example, take about 2 days on average to make. I know they're gonna be eaten in 2 seconds.
Dogue, to rhyme with Vogue, just opened up in the city's Mission District. It caters for hungry dogs and for owners who want to spoil their four-legged friends.
Our tasting menu is more of an experience. right? It's as much an experience for the dogs as it is for the owners, for the humans. I don't know sometimes who has more fun.
Dogue claims to offer the world's first fine dining tasting menu for dogs. For $75 per pup, furry diners get a multiple-course Bon Appetit meal featuring dishes like chicken skin waffles and filet mignon steak tartare with quail eggs. It also includes a mimosa and a treat for the owner. Some critics have expressed outrage over the price point for the pampered pets, pointing out income inequality, gentrification, and homelessness in the city. For the cost of the tasting menu, you could buy at least 5 burritos at one of the many nearby taquerias in the Mission neighborhood. But that doesn't put off customers.
I wanted to celebrate him. He's so special to me. He's my poor little child, and this is like the perfect place to do a really nice celebration. We're foodies too, so I guess he is too now.
It's probably not something that we would do all the time, but it's his 8th birthday, so we kind of felt like we could splurge.
Mazurve says the ingredients he uses are not cheap. Everything is human grade, but if you took a bite, you'd probably find the doggy dishes to be a bit bland for the human palate. He says the real goal of Dogue is to raise awareness about feeding dogs fresh, healthy, natural ingredients, which some research shows can be easier on their stomach than mass-produced dog food. He says he consults with a veterinarian to ensure all of Dogue's meals are safe and contribute to a balanced diet.